Here is my intro theme, if I had one, but I don't. Welcome back to MTV! Alright, boys and girls, this is it. Let's not fuck this one up. Yes, you're watching our last deep dive for the season. We're in Tol Dagor 10. We went into this run in very high spirits, having done a boatload of runs to get Viratus and Vampy up to speed this week.
Can't believe we managed to get that fucking mythic achievement.
Yeah. King's Rest, Waycrest, Freehold, and a Tol Dagor.
And I was the only person who got entombed.
Yeah, we managed to just miss the second one.
It was a massive week of getting ready for this. As I've alluded to quite a few times, you know, most of us have jobs, most of us have full families. It's very difficult to get everything coordinated. But you know what? In the end, we did. We got it done. We got our conqueror. And we're going to just walk through it. We'll show you how we went. We'll start off with a nice little bit of synchronized running. Look at that.
We'll secure the perimeter guards while you make your way to the
Thanks to Viratus for that one. Anyway, being Grievous fortified this week, and of course us knowing exactly what's going on. Oh, fortified too, sweet. So the third boss won't be a shitter.
Oh, it'll still be a shitter, just not as much of a shit.
Now, having done a bunch of runs this week, you'd think that we would remember that. Also, having done a absolute crapload of runs this week, something like 6 Mythic plus, and of course 13 weeks into the season, Vampy comes out with this.
Are you just not saying one, or are you letting go of the button?
I just want to point out, I went back through all my footage after she mentioned that, and it turns out that yes, actually, I've been letting go of the button after saying 1, but it hasn't been coming through on disc. So I've been going 3, 2, and just pulling the boss, which looks a bit weird. Anyway, this is of course still us ultimately, and so things didn't quite go totally to plan. We had a couple of mobs run away and cause some headaches.
Line of sight, pull them all the way back here. Oh boy, we need that gripped.
Ooh. But because we're us, we somehow managed to arse our way through it anyway. Now, again, a reminder, we know these instances back to front, we know all the timings, and we're very careful when we go through here to make sure that we do these right. The Pat will be in a good position by the time these die. I hope. Yes. But in all seriousness, this being the last run of the season, and us having busted it down to a 10 so that we could guarantee that we'd get it, we were actually pretty chill, but we were still quite focused, so not as much banter, not as much shenanigans, and a lot more careful. I can do that.
Dispel them too now.
That worked.
And because of that, that actually gave us a bit of time to just reflect on the dungeon. I mean, Tol Dagor is obviously inspired by certain previous dungeons, stockades. It's like an amped up stockades, this place.
Yeah, I reckon that's probably the vibe they were going for. Stockade's layout's way better.
I think that's just tells exactly how much we don't like Tol Dagor. When you're sitting there saying that Stockades is a better dungeon, yeah, you know a place has got some issues. Anyway, playing through here, obviously we've got Viratus with us opening up all the doors because we don't actually have a rogue in our main group. And we are obviously, as I said before, being very fucking careful. When we do that void, we're going to have to be really careful. Yeah, like, really, really careful. And Sierra actually made a really good point.
We should probably just pull the next pack back to where we are and deal with the void after.
Yep.
You know we're being serious when Vampy uses Life Grip for good, though.
Cast it so they'll come back eventually.
And I'm usually used to her trying to kill me with it, so that's a really odd feeling. You know, it always makes me think of a Yank suit when you use that and I'm facing the other way. Like, what? Now, part of the reason for us being so careful is those that are regular watchers of the channel and those that have been following us from the beginning would know that at the end of Season 2, we tried our shoot for Conqueror a little bit late and we didn't make it because we just couldn't get the keys in time. Season 3 is dragging on a lot longer.
If I can hit the right buttons, I'll get the doors.
Still got some interface issues though. Interface? More like in your face. After clearing out all the trash on this level, we move into Jess Howless, which is usually where runs are either going to succeed or fail. If you can get Jess down clearly, it's going to be a good run. So we went in with our hopes high and aiming to do it as neatly as we could. And you got to ask yourself, you know, really, why was Jess starting a rebellion when he was up for parole? But that's a topic for another day. We got him down nice and clean, no issues. We try not to interrupt Jess too early when his brother comes up so that we can just blitz the brother down. And then we move through. Now, I start getting a little bit excited here. Got tides with the next pack.
We finished this pack.
Now, our strategy for this place involves using an invis pot after Jess, after you get up to the next level, and skipping most of the trash on that level. You use a key, open the gate, get through. That works pretty well for us, and the most important thing about that is just remembering that we're going to do it.
This is where we invis, isn't it?
Now, it is a very good strategy. It worked really well for us, but it does come with one little drawback.
Oh, that's
I
evil.
suggest we stay back. Viratus might die, but then we can res him and invis. I think that's what happened last time, yeah?
Now, the hardest part about that is actually getting Viratus to die and not accidentally pull the extra stuff over to us. So, lots of stay.
But you want me to die?
No, don't run out of... Just right there.
Just stay right there. Yep, you stay right there and just die. Tank the floor. And now we move through. Alright, I'll see you on the other side. And given that we're invising and moving through here pretty quickly, it's a very good thing that the spotter's crap at his job.
Good thing the spotter's not very spotty.
Now that we've moved outdoors, we're into some of the worst trash in the instance. And of course, this is after they've nerfed the cannons, so we don't have the opportunity of blowing them up as easily either.
I'll save the cannon shots for the next pack.
You may as well hop in it and start nuking it. We'll take care of these. Yeah, good thing if I remember what the affixes are. Anyway, we had a discussion about whether we should pull all of the next pack at once. I feel like that might end badly.
Take the 2 pack and then I'll cannon the next one.
What we actually ended up doing was putting Vampy in the cannon. Now, Vampy hasn't had a whole lot of experience in the cannons, but we figured it's a good opportunity considering she's ranged.
I can't see them.
Unfortunately, it didn't work out particularly well in the cannon, and you know, the fact that they've nerfed it to 5 shots only does make a really, really big difference when coming through here, as we were lamenting during the run.
Oh yeah, we are at the worst trash for sure.
Putting Sierre back in the cannon for the next pull, Viratus got reminded of the fact that the cannons actually have a friendly fire radius.
Oh, that hurt.
And Sierre got reminded that when you're in the cannon, you attract aggro.
Pretty sure they aggroed on me too.
Yep.
As is often the case, Vampy came up with another strategy on the fly.
I'll pull the emissary, and get it to me.
This works.
And so she decided to take her frustrations out on the poor emissary, trying to punt it off the edge. A couple of interrupts there.
Apparently I can't make it jump off the edge.
Is that what you were trying?
After having fairly tidily dispatched all of that trash, and not actually had any incidents so far, we were feeling pretty good. So, moving into the last boss, we decided we'll just do it by the book. No funky strategies. Yes, you can pull the barrels out of the room, but no, we're just going to move them off to the side and deal with it properly. And in we go. Okay. 3,
I'll grab the right barrel.
2... And it actually started out pretty neatly, you know. We kept everything under control. All the barrels exactly where they're supposed to go, and that's, well, how it's meant to roll. You know, nice and tidy. The most frustrating thing about this boss is that we have a fairly heavy melee group, 2 melee, 1 ranged. And that means when things like this happen, that we run into more problems.
Put some in orange as well.
Yep, all it takes is missing 1 bomb, and then suddenly you've got a room full of fire that you have to deal with. Very much a pain in the ass. Anyway, sometimes beguiling works in our favour.
This warden's very far ahead of the priests. Oh,
Because the rest of them are stuck with the emissary.
Yeah, the priest normally. Yep, if you can get this guy by himself, that's a big boon. Especially because priests are probably one of the hardest pulls in here. And as Viratus found out, that one can still kill you.
painful, isn't it?
Yeah, sorry, Penny.
But because Veratus is a tank, he knows to apologise to the healers when he causes them unnecessary grief. Good boy. Now, we've actually arrived here with a lot of time left on the timer, which is really good for us.
We've got 10 minutes, let's just kill these mobs.
But that ended up being a bit of an unnecessary call because, well, I don't know if you guys have been watching the percentage timer, but it turns out that none of us were.
Well, and we need 4%.
These will do it.
Lovely. I hadn't even been looking at the percentage.
No, that turns out to be a perfect run. And with a brief strategy reminder and everything sorted out for who's going to do the soaks, by the way, that ends up being Sierra with me trying to catch them as much as I can.
Right from the pool.
Yep. 3, 2. We head into the last boss conqueror for this group for the season and plough through it. As you can see, I can't see much on this boss though. Just a wall full of fire. Yes, I could turn my camera around, but I actually find that makes it harder to manage where I'm moving. So, you know, fail player. What can I say? Scrub tier represents. Anyway, ploughing through, we nail it, and
Oh yeah.
fucking yes.
And there's two twos.
That is
Yep.
some satisfying spam right there.
Oh
Yep.
yeah. And we even managed to 2-chest it. So that did actually turn into a 12, which we'll talk about in a sec. That's a combination of bloody 3.5 months work there.
Yeah.
Oh. Yep, I'm happy with that.
So, who wants to try a 12 temple?
Not this week.
Tonight.
No, thank
Not
you very
tonight.
much. Now, as it happens, as I record this, we timed our first 13 last week. Not a bad run at all. Looking forward to talking about that one in the weekly recap, but more importantly, feeling really good that we got our Conqueror done. Congratulations to everyone in the push group. Looking forward to helping other people get through it as well. Thank you to everybody that's stuck around with us for this entire season. I'm looking forward to doing some changes for Season 4. And we'll see you on the Tuesday timeout and top 10 of 10 time 10s. See you guys.